Happy New Year. It's the A-Strings podcast, number 28.
So people would have heard a brand new introduction music there.
Yeah.
Which we haven't done yet.
We haven't done yet.
Because it's in the past, but you'll hear this in the future.
I heard it in my head.
Yeah.
Do a bit of it now and then see if it matches up.
Okay.
Brilliant.
At least if it's busy tomorrow in work, that's going to be the intro music.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's been a while. It's been a long time, as they say in rock and roll.
Since you did rock and roll.
I guess we got blindsided a bit in as much as it just got a bit crazy for Christmas, and we weren't expecting it because it's been a bit of a lackluster kind of end of the year to that point, hasn't it?
And I think getting the three of us together anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't done a video in God knows how long, and that just needs the two of us. So just to get the two of us
together. You did your first one today, which we'll talk about a little bit later on.
Yes, we did. Yeah. The last video we did before today was the Ultra versus Elite. So
Right.
that's how long ago that was.
That was in November. Man. It's as nice as it is to be busy for Christmas, and we did have a decent December. It did what we needed it to do.
Yeah.
Which is get money in the bank for the taxman, etc. For as busy as it is nice to just kind of draw a line under all the madness and get a bit of routine back, isn't it? Because you do lose routine for the for the week. It's,
I think even the run up to even the run up towards December was, I think we were so looking at December, and obviously the end of November was getting orders ready, stock orders ready. Yeah, we kind of started. We were in the kind of barrel down the hill already.
Yeah. We one of the kind of non-starters for December was the kind of Christmas party. We didn't put a great deal of effort into it. I didn't promote it as a Facebook post.
So with the Christmas party, do you think that it was just purely fake?
It was one of those just awkward social situations, wasn't it? I thought, right, what should we do to kind of try and make it as festive as possible? I bought in mulled wine, mince pies, and everything. Just didn't promote it very well, and so Tristan said, he'll stay for, I think Tristan kind of insinuated he'll stay on if it's any good. He ended up going around about 6:30. So we bought, I think it was 72 miniature mince pies.
Yeah.
Still got some.
We've still got some.
Yeah, there's still some there. Yeah,
I think we got through a packet and a half. Mark Slade and his girlfriend had a couple at the end. But, it just didn't get going, did it? Like, we put on, like, a mariachi band.
Yeah, that was good.
At Christmas MP3s now. We didn't get if we had a mariachi band in, that'd have been amazing. But, no, it was YouTube. We just kind of misjudged the entire thing, really, I think. Just the mood of people, the what people were going to consume.
But didn't it
I've still got 4 bottles of mulled wine.
Yeah.
Didn't open one.
It did kind of sum up the end of the year for us, though, wasn't it? Because we were all a bit kind of frazzled.
Yeah,
by the end of it.
After that happened. Yeah. The we were wondering with mulled wine, obviously you need to warm it up. So if anybody wanted some
microwave,
we were going to microwave it because we got
no means of heating.
No, but there you are. It happened, and we know what we need to do in order to make next year.
We did a pub quiz.
Yeah, we did a pub quiz. Still be applicable next year. Nothing was date sensitive, so
no,
I don't think
just
so.
You'd have to remember if there's stuff that is relevant. You'd have to remember just that extra year back. That's all it is.
But starting 2020, I'm feeling positive.
Yeah. It's always good to have NAM at the beginning of the year to kind of
we've
get you
already
excited.
started getting some emails through, and it's it's exciting seeing the stuff. It's a little bit daunting as well, in as much as there's so much stuff. We could get if we bought a quarter of it.
Well, we had one email today that we looked through.
Yeah.
That had
It's just pages and pages and pages.
so much new stuff.
And it wouldn't be a dilemma if there wasn't so much good stuff on there as well.
Yeah.
Also, not just good stuff, but weird stuff. In as much as, we can't talk about it, but we've had the Fender stuff through.
Yeah, the Fender announcements that
Yeah.
they're going to be making. Yeah.
That we're not allowed to talk about till the 16th, and we're not going to talk about until the 16th. But we can say
But
that
you may see a video before anyone else.
no, but there's some stuff on there which, is a continuation and kind of expansion of certain lines.
Yep.
And then there's just some things I wasn't expecting whatsoever. Just some really far out kind of things, which you think, do you know what? Where's their mind at? Are they really? Is that going to be? Are people really looking for this kind of gear now? But I'm constantly proven wrong with regards to this stuff, and the stuff that I think will just, stuff that I think is just bad ideas and will alienate,
Yeah.
an audience where I'm completely proven wrong, and people ask them, and so it's a risk, isn't it? What do you, where
Yeah, it
do you
is a
put your
risk.
eggs?
Exactly. I think we had plans, didn't we, going into this year now of getting a few more of the custom shops.
Yeah,
Obviously, getting the full lines of the new releases like Ultras and bits and pieces. But then, you see that email then and you're like, oh, okay, well,
Absolutely.
What do you do?
Where does it put your plans? And and the awful. The difficult thing about it is that you look at the column of when's things due. You've got some. It's not going to be giving anything away to say that Fender have got limited edition things coming out as they have done for the last however many years.
Yeah.
Like since we've been a shop, every year they've had limited edition stuff, and it's staggered throughout the year.
Yeah.
So that's fine, but that takes up just the first couple of pages of this thing. This was like a 25-page document,
Yeah, it was,
and everything else is due within the next couple of months. So, you say, right, okay, I'm gonna, let's buy, one of those, blah blah blah. It's all coming through in February, and we're not in a busy period of the year, so it's just a risk with regards to what you decide to take on, and trying to foresee what your sales and your cash flow is going to be like.
Yeah.
So it's always exciting because there's new things to talk about. We've had some things through already. Are we going to do? Is this shop news? Have we already kind of gone to shop news, or should we do shop news now and introduce a new jingle, which is yet to be written?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've already dipped out 2 into the new shop news.
So, are we going to? Is this going to be shop and global news?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Shop and
is
global
that
news.
is that our new feature for 2020?
Shop and global news. There's a nice rhythm to that. I'm already getting ideas. My mind is already fizzing and popping with ideas. Shop and global news. Shop and global news. Shop and global news. Shop and global news. That's not the jingle. That was just me whispering.
That's yeah.
But it could be us. So, shop news. I guess the news is going to be that the main news that we're going to be Music Man deals again.
Yeah. So that is fresh news. That's this week.
Fresh news. Oh,
Fresh news.
that's a better title for the segment, because that I'm going to say shop and
This
global
news
then.
doesn't need plastic wrapping because it is that fresh.
Fresh. Fresh news. Oh,
That was this week, wasn't it? That we
literally yesterday we just kind of come up with a
agreed
deal.
to-
So,
yeah.
situation with Music Man, we were Music Man dealers very early days, because we get on, dealt with strings and things since 2008, way back when I was down the bay. And Frankie, he's a rep, but he's one of our best mates. He's just a brilliant guy. And he's, as we're good mates with a lot of reps, and they all kind of guide us in what they think is the right direction. And Frankie, that to the extreme. He's just really really good guy. And when we started here in Treforest, we started doing the subs and some of the Sterlings, and between Frankie and Nigel, who was working in the office there at the time, they said, "Listen, there's nobody else in the area doing Music Man, and we've dealt with you long enough. We know we can trust you with the product. It'd be good to get like a partnership going."
Yeah.
So we did, and we'd literally been here 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And we, our top end guitar was a classic player, or it might be in a road worn Strat, at topping out at like 850 quid.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden we had Steve Lukather kind of signature model. We had Stingrays. We had 5 or 6 guitars in that were just, they were out of our league at the time. We weren't established. We didn't have people coming to us knowing that they could get.
That's right.
Things. We didn't have things like finance in place. We didn't have. Well, you weren't here, so we didn't have a skilled salesperson to sell the things either. So yeah, and the service department wasn't kind of established. It was lovely for them to put their faith into us, and it was us kind of overreaching too early on. So it didn't work. The models we had here kind of they stagnated for a while. The basses seemed to move through, but the guitars really didn't. And so when we sold our last one 3-4 years ago or whatever, it was right. Okay, we draw a line into that. They upped the dealership requirements, and
it was big.
Whereas they had, I think it was a good 50 or so Music Man dealers in the UK. They upped their commitment so that I think they wanted everyone to stock 24 Music Man guitars, and that's a hell of a commitment. We're not talking subs and Sterlings. There is, that's the American Music Man guitars now, and they're an acquired taste anyway. I don't think anybody picks up a Music Man and say that it's a bad guitar, but people don't. People go out looking for a Fender Stratocaster or Gibson Les Paul or whatever. Music Man is something that they've got to be made aware of. It's not necessarily what, it's probably not what their guitar hero is playing. So, holding 24, American instruments like that was too much of a commitment for most people.
Yeah.
And so you only had the big boys doing it. So PMT Antons and Guitar were the only people really doing Music Man.
Yeah.
2 years on, 3 years on, that's not worked out by the sounds of it, and so they're looking to re-establish the Music Man kind of dealer network, and it kind of comes at a point whereby it'd be nice to have a fresh brand on the wall.
Yes.
I think nothing's ever going to happen to Gretsch Jackson. Well, I say nothing's ever going to happen. I'm not trying to tempt fate, but if we got anything to do with it, nothing's going to happen to Fender, Jackson, Gretsch. Our Rickenbacker stock's always going to be limited because supply of them is limited. Yeah. Shergold thing is doing well, it's doing its thing. Things like the Vintage and PRS, they're really strong sellers for us, so we don't want anything to happen to that.
No.
So, the Hagstrom thing has been the biggest disappointment of the last few years, and we just can't seem to do anything with it. They're not bad instruments, it's just that square peg, round hole kind of scenario instance. And
and I think that the Music Man thing, even though it wasn't sort of on the list of consideration, kind of when we were thinking about new brands to get in, it's one of those ones that doesn't actually clash with anything else, really.
No. It's no, it doesn't.
Because we were, obviously the Ibanez conversation was there, but close to Jackson.
And also close to PMT, who are big,
which are Ibanez dealers.
So
Epiphone was another one, but again, we do the Vintage, we do the PRS thing,
and it's not to say that these names aren't going to be conversations in the future. It's
no.
that the opportunity approached us, and
so is it a different? Are they a bit more sensible in their requirement now?
So basically, we're going to get half a dozen pieces in. So I'm thinking a couple of basses and start off with 4 guitars. And then what happens is, and the same with everyone else, they get their limited runs. So do you remember we had those roasted maple neck blue? We had the blue bass and the
Axis Sport.
Sport.
Yeah, that was lush.
So
it was like a hammerhead shark inlay, wasn't it? Cutaway.
Yes, it was, and
I remember
F-hole
that.
And
that was it. Yeah, it was the F-hole, but it was shaped like a shark.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, stunning.
So they have their limited editions, so we'll kind of build up from there, really.
Well, I think Chris had his silhouette from us, wasn't
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brings that out now and again.
So that'll be something good to look at, and the other good thing being as well, just talking from the YouTube and and podcast kind of side of things, strings and things. They're such good friends to us that if we wanted to, if we were a bit nervous about stocking something like, for example, the Majesty kind of guitar,
Yeah.
which is it's a real tasty kind of price, and there's so many different options with it. If we wanted to maybe borrow one if we wanted to take one in to have a look at it, see whether it was something that maybe our customers would be interested in, or to do a video and a podcast kind of look at it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that, they're easygoing enough to kind of send us one, see what we think, and if we want to keep it, fine. If not, kind of send it back. So
yeah. Because we did, the Majesty was here, wasn't it? It was black and yellow? Black and gold? Because it's got like the V shape, hasn't it? It was black with the gold kind of V.
I thought we had a couple of Majesties in. There was the one kind of super spec one, which had like all the piezo and kind of some weird electronics on the back. Do you remember that?
No, I definitely. There was one that was black with the gold kind of V in it. I remember the Super Sport.
I remember like a purpley kind of one.
Yeah, Albert Lee we had, didn't we?
Albert Lee, yeah.
Which was
That's the other thing is that they've got some really good endorsers, and when they come round to when they're in the UK, there's generally opportunities to get these guys in to do a clinic.
Yeah, well, Petrucci does go around and do stuff for them, doesn't he? So.
And so does Albert Lee. So to get somebody like one of those through, that would be a real coup.
Yeah. Speaking of, there was mention of Jennifer Batten last year, wasn't there? Her name was brought up.
Oh, with Marshall.
Was it Marshall? Was it? That's who she's.
Yeah,
going with,
I think it was Marshall, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah. So I've seen that she's on board with Jackson now.
Really?
Yeah. So she in the latest interview I've seen, she's got a signature Jackson, but she's been with a few people. She's done Washburn and I think she's done Ibanez and things like that. But we mentioned her, didn't we, before Christmas?
Maybe.
And we couldn't think of her name at the time. But yeah, Jennifer Batten,
Yeah.
who obviously was famously Michael Jackson's guitarist.
Yeah.
Through the early 90s.
Right. Okay.
Big blonde hair and.
I love big blonde hair. Big hair.
Back comb.
Moving on. So, other news.
So new arrivals for the shop.
Mm.
One in, one coming in. So after the success of Earthquaker,
and they have been, a success. It's not often you get something in and it's an immediate kind of it's an immediate seller. It's generally you got to promote it heavily and then it goes from there. But
it's done really well.
Yeah.
The same suppliers of our Earthquaker stuff do New Neighbour and they do Meris and they do Old Blood Noise and lots of other people. Meris was one of the ones that we were asked for before we made the orders. So we decided to put our toe in. Obviously a lot more expensive and there's only 5 in the range.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting, I think, 3 of the 5 initially. We've only got the 1 left now.
Right, okay.
But yeah, they're obviously another pedal brand that's in. I think this year we were definitely going to look more at pedals.
Yeah.
But there's lots of things to look at. I think Old Blood Noise will be a nice sort of move, especially down that Earthquaker route. They're more similar to the Earthquaker stuff. And obviously New Neighbour if we wanted to go more down the Meris route. 2 notes, yes, they do all the 2-note stuff, so all the torpedo stuff, all the cabayars and everything like that they do. Cabaya.
Peterson, we've started again. Peterson tuned us through again, which is something that I was bringing in. I was the only person bringing it in actually from
Yeah.
2006 through to about 2011, 2012.
Well, we still get phone calls
yeah.
from
yeah.
people.
But,
Mainly piano tuners.
yeah. So it's nice to get a bit of that back through again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else really.
Oh, PRS. So the
yeah.
PRS, I guess they call
35th
them
anniversary, isn't it?
Yes, we got the 35th. So we got the 35th anniversary models coming in.
Which I'm not sure about because they're semi-hollow, and I think there's a very limited market for semi-hollow. But everyone else I speak to about them seems to think, oh yeah, they're gonna,
Well, the
lovely and
yeah,
fly
the
it.
semi-hollow lines are just part of their SEs. Interesting that they've just announced they're doing a McCarthy S2.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, they look quite cool.
But S2s, they kind of start at grand, and then they go up. So is this going to be
They
the
look
upper
like,
end?
Yeah, they look like they're going to be kind of that.
It's kind of the gloss
1600,
finish and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
So they look really.
yeah, they're going to be more CE than S2 price, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're doing a double cut, single cut, and then like a thin, I think it's
Right.
called. So it's a thinner body, but the switch has moved. It's not up on the top.
We've had some really nice bits in and have gone since the last podcast. We had that lovely thin line Tacumin.
Yeah, that was here. No time, was it?
Couple of days, yeah. Lyndon got that, didn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
responsible for a lot of
Yeah.
gaps. Telecaster shape usually.
Elwyn had that. One of our
One
favourites.
of our favourite
Yeah,
Takumins.
another Tacumin. So it's been quite Japanese heavy. Actually, Matt Longbottom of previous podcast fame
Yes.
from Korg, he called up yesterday and they needed some sales figures with regards to what we did Tacumin this year compared to 2018.
Okay.
And we're significantly up.
I was gonna say we-
2019.
definitely
but
up, yeah.
the interesting thing is we sold for November, December 2018 versus November, December 2019. We sold. First of all, we sold 2 Japanese Tacumins in 2018, which was, if you remember, the Parlor and the CP.
And one of the- yep, mahogany.
And we sold 2 in 2019.
Which was the thin line and
Yeah.
the mahogany. Yeah.
But we were almost exactly to the penny. The amount, the value of the amount of Tacumins we did in 2018 was the same as 2019. We were a couple of pennies down in 2019, but the amount of Tacumins is in the models. We sold about 3 or 4 more this last couple of months.
Oh, but it definitely feels that way with Takamine. It definitely feels that was kind of the
Almost
popular guitar of the last quarter for us.
that and the Guild.
And the Guilds, yeah.
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 Oh, and Faith. Between the 3 of them, it seems like, the Tacumin, you've got the pretty looking things with the excellent pickups. Faith, you've got the, you've just got an amazingly well-spec guitar.
Yeah.
And Guild is kind of almost like a hybrid of the 2.
Yeah.
And it's got maybe a bit more classic. It's the.
It is a bit more classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as
But
modern.
we had the M40
Yes.
the
Parlour.
Guild in as well. Really nice spruced up Parlor.
couple of bits we're waiting on with the Guilds, isn't there? There's the Dreadnought. I think it's the D40, is it? Or is it maybe even one up again?
Yeah.
Sunburst with the gloss.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got the Sunburst one. But apart from that, news-wise, Harry and Meghan are moving out to Canada.
Apparently.
Couldn't care less.
Apparently.
Should have been paying for themselves a long time ago. A little bit of politics. That's not politics, is it? Is it politics?
Go down factory tour, maybe.
Maybe.
Think of the time.
So that wraps up fresh news, or we got to make a decision now. Is it fresh news or is it
Don't need to wrap it up, Joe, because it's fresh.
fresh news? So we're gonna have to do a new Biscuit News jingle for 2020 as well.
Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be an absolute
It's
bedlam because
Yeah.
obviously of the time
We got
it was.
we've got a lot of thank yous to do, and we are going to miss people out as well because which is really, really ungrateful. But well, it's not ungrateful because we said thank you at the time, but it's
Yeah.
going to seem rude not to mention them. But there are going to be emissions. So if you're listening, sorry.
Yeah.
So first of all, should we decide on our mince pie of the year?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Tom.
Tom is here, by the way.
Woken up. So, what was your mince pie of the
I'm
year,
going
Tom?
to go for taste. What's the Tesco one? Tesco's finest.
Finest.
Oh, okay.
As in the proper box ones, not the bakery ones.
The boxed ones, yeah. I think.
That's interesting.
I was exposed to the Asda ones right towards the end of the mince pie period, and they were lovely. But I think the Sainsbury's ones were my favourite. Yeah,
They were the first ones we tried, weren't they?
yeah,
The very first
yeah,
ones.
and just generously filled.
Yeah. The one that I really liked wasn't even a taste of difference.
Oh, are you going to talk about Elwyn's?
No, he's on our thank you list.
Okay, because maybe these shouldn't come into this section, but actually that was my favourite one. But yeah.
The the one that I liked wasn't a sort of finest one or a luxury one. It was we had two different ones and they were both icing topped. But there was one that was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
We had one with like the little bits on.
Mr.
It wasn't
Kipling.
them. Was it just Mr. Kipling?
I think so.
Is that all it was?
Mr. Kipling ones, I think, were the ones with the sprinkles, and then
and then there was another one.
And you had the Sainsbury's ones, which just had the
Sainsbury's,
icing.
not them.
Yeah,
Just the icing.
very very sweet.
Yeah.
Very Moorish.
Yeah.
I did
They were
enjoy
the
that
ones.
actually,
They were the
because
ones.
sometimes the pastry can get a little bit too much, but sink your teeth into a nice bit of icing to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were
Only
my
another 10.5 months
ones. Yeah.
to lose 5 stone.
I need the mince pies. Give me the mince pies.
Yeah, Adam's wasting away.
It's,
There's been grainy pictures in the tabloids asking if this guy's ill. Let's move on before it gets too bad taste. So, biscuits.
Yeah, I think we should mention obviously Elwyn's ones
I have
first.
a massive list of half an hour of biscuits.
No, okay,
Elwyn's ones need to go in because obviously we've been
because
talking
they're
about
so
mince pies.
special. They're Heston Blumenthal. They
Dark cherry.
dark cherry and something. They tasted like a mince pie at first, and then they just transformed it into something else. They
Yes.
were spectacular. He promised he was going to bring us more. He didn't. Bit disappointed. But
Did he?
apparently, one of his family members started tucking into him, I think. So selfish. But, thank you, Elwyn.
Of course.
Brought a smile to our faces.
Mark from Gretsch. I missed Mark's visit, but I did see the massive tray of
Brought
Thornton's
loads.
chocolates. There's a couple of those Thornton's chocolates still there. That's how big that box was.
Yeah,
It had a big Christmas tree chocolate in it. Who had the Christmas tree?
I didn't have the
That's why I'm
Christmas
on
tree chocolate.
I had the Christmas tree chocolate,
there. Oh,
but I ate the tree. Shouldn't have ate the tree. I was too ill to enjoy it.
Good.
well, no one was eating the tree because it was so big, and no one would dare. And then
No.
it's suddenly gone.
I was brave enough to take on the challenge.
Well done, you.
So Steve from Blackstar came in. He came in a couple of times. Once for the Christmas party, and he came in obviously just his usual kind of visit as well. But brought in some luxury cookies as usual, and also brought in what he considers is the best biscuit, which is the ginger creams.
Yeah.
So it's the ginger crunch creams,
Yeah.
So yeah, we had I think 3 packs of cookies and the ginger creams, and he brought us in a little crate of lager as well.
Yeah. And he got me one of those little, the little kind of head. The
Oh yeah, the Funko Pops, the
Funko
Brian
Pop.
May.
Brian May
Yeah, yeah.
Funko Pop. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's lush, and he's Steve. What else? Who else? Oh, Dr. Whippy brought in, like,
Everyone had their own little gift off
Yeah.
Dr. Whippy.
I got 2 Queen badges and a jar of tartar sauce, which is amazing.
I had black nail polish,
Yeah.
and it was a good one. Chris had a little homemade neck rest.
Tristan had something for his baby.
Yep. Your dad had a slow gin, bottle of slow gin. And Tom?
I had some palette knives for painting.
Hey.
Very useful.
And cutting.
And cutting things.
Cutting. Yeah. Oh, we were very, very lucky. And we've actually been on a bit of a biscuit break
Mm-hmm.
because, not like a Kit Kat,
No.
but I've got really fat over Christmas. You two haven't. You're both losing weight. Draw your own conclusion. So no. Sophie brought in homemade.
Yeah, homemade
stuff.
cookies, which we had for the
Yeah.
party. And Christina has brought in
Oh, Christine, she's been in like 2 or 3 times. And
Tannex,
she's brought in
snowballs.
Yeah.
There was something else she brought in.
Yeah, she did the tea cake things, the
Yeah.
tonics and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, man, it'd been amazing. So
It's been brilliant.
Did Clive bring something in?
yeah, Clive
Oh.
brought. Oh man, yeah,
Homemade scones.
yeah, and jam. Yeah,
But homemade Clive's in a bit of a baking frenzy at the moment.
is he?
Oh God, yeah, he loves it. But we've tried some scones. He's promised, and we've tried some scones.
Yeah.
They were very nice.
Oh man, we're lucky, me. So
Very lucky.
let's move on.
Cool.
If we've forgotten you, really, really sorry. But yeah, you've all been really, really kind to us this Christmas. So thank you.
Thank you all.
I don't know if the acoustics sound any different to the listener at home, but we're in a different surrounding today.
Mm.
We decided that we're going to just basically start off casual this year. We've ditched the video idea for the time being. It takes a long time to. It's one of the reasons I think we haven't done a podcast for a little while, because just it took that much longer, and makeup was a
It was a nightmare.
nightmare. And podcast, they are designed as an audio thing. So if something happens, if we get an opportunity to have somebody in where it'd be good to have the video going, we'll do it as
Yeah.
one-offs. But as a regular thing going on, I think we're just going to do it as an audio
Exactly.
thing. But yeah, we decided let's get a little bit more casual. Usually we're up on bar stools on the big run fender table. We're down about a foot, aren't we now? So Adam's sat at the piano, looking like he's ready to give us a song at any moment. Tom, with his Richard Pryor's Good Life jumper, is sat down on the
On a school chair?
on the school chair,
But is it comfy?
No.
Oh,
and I'm sat on the stage. It's where I'm destined to be, darling.
yes, darling.
But I haven't got the range. So basically, as the year goes on, I think we should just see how far down we can go.
Get lower and lower.
Yeah,
We'll be on
cushions
beanbags.
and
Beanbags.
yeah. We thought we'd do our first feature of 2020 as a look at 2019 in review kind of thing. Not that in depth. We just thought we'd choose our best and worst moment of the year. And I'm not going to mention.
All right, yeah.
I said it in a
yeah.
The F word.
That's
the F word. Yeah,
Yeah.
not going to mention it. We're positive this year. We're just taking positives out of everything.
Yeah.
We did 80 quid on Tuesday. Brilliant. No worries. Do
So best moment and worst moment.
you want to start?
I don't know about a worst moment. Really? There's been some good best ones. I think seeing my brother up with Jar James was probably my highlight.
That was wicked.
That was probably my highlight.
That
Yeah.
was a really good event.
It was, just with regards to attendance and everything else. And, given timing was right in as much as, not mentioning the F word, but, we managed to claw back a good couple of thousand kind of followers by then in order to promote the result, the event.
Yeah.
And, well, we had 50 tickets, was it? Or 60?
Yeah, we were limited to, I think, about 50 or 60 when
Yeah,
they were all
and
gone.
it just went straight away.
Yes.
He came in, bouncing ball of energy,
Yeah.
Give me a big hug.
big hug.
Tom loves hugs.
Tom wasn't feeling very tactile at that point of his life. But
Hugged
Yeah.
by a taller man as well.
Yeah.
we composed a little ditty
We did. For sound check, wasn't
for
it?
sound check. And yeah, he just came in and did a really, really good night. And off the back of it, we're the top dealer in, I think, the world of Jad James Nichols, or certainly the UK, Jad James Nichols amps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had them both custom signed.
You're such a bitch. Yeah. But they're a limited run thing anyway,
Yeah.
and
They sounded wicked.
they
Very
really
good
really
idea.
did. Nobody's.
Mixed speaker cabs is a...
It can be one of
Definitely.
those items. I think that in 5-10 years time, they're going to be kind of sought after. I think it's one of those proper collectible things, especially getting it signed as well.
Mhm.
So the one was sold to somebody who was there on the night, and the other one was sold to somebody who was just watching on Facebook, and then he came in a few days later. He couldn't make the event, but he just said it sounded so good. He tried it in person and walked away with it.
And they're both gigging players as well. So they're both getting used live, which is good.
Yeah. Have you had any on-stage mishaps this year?
Have I?
Yeah.
Oh, all the time. Forgetting words and bits and pieces.
Yeah. Any kind of...
I haven't had
any Valley
anything.
grapplers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you always get them.
That's not...
The best one in December, which wasn't me, was Chris. So the boys do a run out on third song in. They go out and get up on the tables and stuff. And we were in this big, massive hall. Boxing Day. It was Boxing Day. And the boys run out. And I stay on the stage with Keelan, our drummer. He can't go anyway. And just kind of watch the boys run out, make sure everything's all right as we're going. And I see Chris get up, and he sort of gets up on the chair and then straightens up. And as he straightens up, I'm like, yeah, the ceiling isn't that... Oh, no, there he goes. And he just pops his head straight through the plaster tile. So he gets up and just his head just disappears through the ceiling. You can just see him kind of just ducking back down the ceiling tile, kind of like resettling down. And then I'm gone there. I'm trying to sing and I'm just laughing. But no, there's always nutters. The last gig we played in Newport, there was some guy and he was just at the front of the stage, just on one knee. I'm just like, are you proposing? Are you waiting to catch me? I don't understand what's going on. But... oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
But yeah, Chris is always the one that makes it funny.
Yeah.
If he slips and falls, it's always the funniest out of everyone slipping and falling.
Yeah.
But
You said he was like a turtle on the floor there once, wasn't he?
he slipped in beer, and obviously he carried on playing guitar. He saved his guitar, but obviously meant that he was up on his back, arms and legs in the air. Like a turtle, yeah.
So, your favourite guitar of the year? Brad come through the shop.
Oh, I know I'll probably forget something, but I think so far it's probably the Ultra Strat.
Really?
It's the one that surprised me the most.
It really has.
It was
kind
the
of
one that
impressed you
I
much?
wasn't kind of. I just wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was and as nice as it was. Yeah, and acoustic wise, probably the one that surprised me was nice was the Dreadnought Guild, actually.
Really?
That's very, very nice.
Yeah.
Out of everything. Yeah, because the Zero Coat A Takamines we've had for a couple of years now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They come
that
through
was
a
like
few
last
times,
year's
and yeah,
choice.
I think it's a main kind of. How about you, Tom? What was your highlight?
I went to Leeds with Adam. That was interesting.
The highlights you asked for.
Yeah.
That was good fun.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was okay. It was a bit of a thing, an hour out of Leeds, or not even that, was it? Where we had the phone call from the hotel saying, yeah, bit of an issue. We've double booked you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so me and Adam stayed in some motel.
Vibrating bed.
Dodgy motel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Water bed.
On stilts.
That was fun.
No, it's good. And we've got something similar this year coming up, haven't we?
Yes,
We've got
we've got a few actually. Well, we got a few potentials in
Yeah.
as much as definite is Oswestry,
Which is Barnes and Mullins.
Barnes and Mullins. So there you'll get to meet Patrick Eggle, have a look around his workshop, and it'll be a good look at the Faith and Shergold kind of setup, I think.
Yeah, which would be really cool.
That'll be cool. So what was your favourite guitar that comes through the shop?
Probably the Takamine that Elwyn had.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Electric or...
I tell you the one that Tom does keep picking up, which came out last year,
Yeah.
was the Performer Strat in the same blue,
in
in the matching blue.
Satin blue.
Yeah.
It is really beautiful, the satin blue, and I think it's a nicer. I don't know if it's just because of the shape or what, but it does seem to be a nicer hue of kind of blue on the Performer.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the Gretsch looks stunning, especially with the gold hardware and all the rest of it. So, yeah. Yeah.
What about you, sir?
My favourite thing that happened this year. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story.
Oh, okay.
So get comfortable. It's kind of my favourite and worst thing this year. So we mentioned the podcast. I was lucky enough to go to my 40th. Went to New Orleans to watch Queen. So going there and looking at the backstage setup and everything, it was absolutely amazing. But I haven't really told you what happened later on that night, which is pretty horrific. So we arrived the night before, and Kate and me kind of, we were jet lagged and everything. Been up for like traveling 21 hours. So had an early night. We were in bed by like 10 o'clock at night. And got up the next morning. Kate likes doing the kind of bus tours of places. Mm-hmm. So we did this bus tour of New Orleans, and it was great. It was very, very kind of humid and hot. It's August, and we said, right, we'll do this kind of bus tour of New Orleans, and we'll you can jump on, jump off, kind of thing. And we were going to go and see the show in the evening. So we went to, we had a look around, and every time we got on the bus, there were recommended places to eat and all the rest of it. And there's this place called the Creole House that loads of them kind of recommended. So we said, well, let's try this. So we decided, right, we get back to the hotel, get changed, go to this kind of Creole House, have food, and then we'll walk up to the to the venue. And we did that. We went to this place, and Tom asked me beforehand. You asked me if we go to any kind of places beforehand where we eat, and we have something nice. Take a picture for you because
yeah.
So I had I think Kate had some like fish cakes and something else, and I had what do you call them? Oysters.
Right.
Which over there, like chicken nuggets kind of thing, is not like an elitist thing. It's what they eat over there, So anyway, have these, have a couple of drinks and all that, and we start walking up around about 6 o'clock in the evening, and we go outside, and it's so warm, really, really kind of humid. But because we were so full, we were happy to have the walk, and it was like it's about 2 miles away or so. So we got up to the venue, and we call Pete. And Pete comes to meet us, and it takes us, and we have a look at everything. Kate's not allowed her handbag in the venue because they got strict laws with regards to guns and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Pete takes takes her handbag and we puts it on the tour bus and said, right, after the show, meet us out by here, and we'll from the last note of We're the Champions, it takes 35 minutes for me to break down my gear. I'll meet you on the bus, and that's where we all congregate. We're going to be there for about 2 or 3 hours afterwards. We'll have a drink and we'll have a catch up kind of thing. So we did. Kate left her handbag on the bus. We went to watch the show, and it was, I mentioned on the podcast before, it was the best time I've ever seen him. It was absolutely brilliant. It was loud. The crowd was amazing, and it was just the best atmosphere I've ever, and the best I've ever heard them play. So the concert ends, and Kate and me make our way out of the arena, and we walk right the way around, and we get to this kind of compound where the buses are, and we get on the bus, and the sound guy, he's a sound guy, but he's also a sound guy, Tom, was on the bus already, and there's something like 16 buses for road crew and all the rest of it, and they, as people kind of finish, they come back to this kind of compound, get on the bus. So we see Tom there, and he said, right, what do you want to drink? And this tour bus is amazing, right? It's got, you go in there, it's got like 50-inch TV, it's got PlayStations and all the rest of it. The particular bus that Pete is on, which is the one we were on, is the one where everyone goes to for a drink afterwards because one of the guys who's on there is a professional cocktail maker or something. So basically, it's not just kind of Strongbow or Foster's or whatever. He's got a drinks cabinet with whatever you want. And so Kate and me, gin and tonic, and what gin do you want? So Hendrick, just amazing.
Yeah.
Like an ice bucket and everything. So, we're having a bit of a drink, and people are coming off, from their jobs, and they're getting changed, and they join in the conversation. Pete comes in, and it's really interesting listening to them speak. They're they want to know what we thought of the show because they notice things that go wrong that nobody else does. In as much as it's kind of choreographed. Brian will go and do an acoustic bit at the front of the catwalk kind of thing, and this time round he decided to walk from the catwalk with the radio mic in hand back to where he's meant to be, and so all of a sudden this microphone is where it's not meant to be, and there was big panic about that and all the rest of it. And so you're listening to all these little kind of interesting kind of stories that happen within the kind of show and everything. And I'm there, and I'm not feeling kind of there's something just a little bit wrong, in as much as I'm not feeling pissed. I'm just feeling kind of a little bit of an out-of-body kind of thing. I think, right, am I just really excited that I'm here? Am I jet-lagged? Or, I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk enough to be drunk. So anyway, it's deep breaths, enjoy your drink. And, it's air-conditioned on this bus, because still at 11:30 at night outside, it's still so hot, humid. So anyway, Pete wants to go out for a cigarette, and Kate is in middle of conversation with him, so she goes out and is talking with him as well. So I'm with this guy Nigel, who's Roger's drum tech, and this guy Tom as well. Nigel goes out for a cigarette as well after a couple of minutes, and I'm stuck with this. Oh, no, sorry. I'm in the bus with this guy Tom, and he said, "I'm going to go out and see the others." And I said, "Okay, fine." And he said, "Are you coming out?" I said, "Do you know what? I'm actually enjoying the air conditioning. I'm going to stay here." And he kind of looked, he stopped for a couple of seconds. He said, "It's a bit weird me leaving you on your own in here." And I said, "Okay, fine." And so I completely get it. He doesn't know me from Adam, and he, they got their kind of life in that bus. So, I said, "Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, I'll come out." So I came outside, and, the heat kind of hit me and everything. And we're basically, talking, all the roadies coming off, and it's wicked. It's the coolest place I've ever been in my life. You got the Queen's roadies talking about everything that's going on, and having a drink, and it's brilliant. And I started talking to this guy, Jez, who's he's the bass tech, and and he's a really, really lovely guy. He texts for Depeche Mode and a few other people.
No way.
Yeah, he's really, really great guy, and he's a few inches short than me. He's about 5'4", 5'5", something like that. So, I'm kind of, my sight is kind of looking kind of down towards him, kind of thing. And anyway, we're talking about Gretches. We're having a really good conversation about kind of geeking out about guitars and stuff. And Kate's somewhere else talking to some of the others, and we're talking, and I can kind of just feel myself get a little bit disorientated, and he asked me a question. I responded, and I spoke a sentence back to him, and he looked at me kind of a little bit strange, and then carried on talking. I thought what I just said didn't make sense. I just kind of it was literally something like that kind of sound, and I thought, that was odd. I don't understand what came out of my mouth then. And he looked at it a little bit strange, and he carried on talking, and at that point, I realised, right, something's wrong here, and I kind of, I didn't know whether I felt sick, I didn't know whether I felt kind of lightheaded or what.
Right.
But it was an out-of-body kind of thing going on, and I realised that, right, I need to keep my answers short and ask leading questions just to keep him talking, because I need to figure out what the hell is going wrong with me, right? So I'm taking deep breaths, and just to try and hydrate myself or whatever, I'm just taking sips of this gin kind of thing, and this goes on, and all of a sudden I just think, right, this really isn't right. And he's talking to me. I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, "Jez, I got to stop you there. I'm going down, mate." And he looked at me, he said, what? I said, I'm going down. I'm just going to go over here a minute. And I walked towards, like, round the back of one of the tour buses. Jez has kind of got his hand up around my shoulder kind of thing. And I lower myself gently to the floor. And just with the last few inches to go, I just black out.
Gone.
Blackout in a car park in New Orleans with the Queen road crew in tow kind of thing. And I lost 30 seconds to a minute of my life. I don't know what happened. I blacked out. All of a sudden, I start hearing kind of, I start coming to. I feel my head being lifted and then kind of going on to something soft. And I just start hearing voices just start appearing in my head kind of thing. And I start coming to, and I hear people saying, some swearing going on, get an ambulance, what's going on? And I think I hear Kate in the background going, is he alive? Quite blasé kind of thing. And I start going, I start coming to. And they said, right, somebody call an ambulance. I went, no, I'm fine. I think I'm going to be sick like that. And so everyone's saying, right, try and be sick. That's the best thing you can do. Try and be sick. And so I'm on my side, right, with 25 people surrounding me, willing me to be sick on the floor.
Yeah.
And I go, and then I'm sick,
Yeah.
right? And I don't want to get too graphic for the listeners because they might be listening to this over, like a Scotch egg or something. But I threw up a very dense amount of vomit, equivalent to the size of maybe a Burger King Whopper kind of in diameter, right? Not big, but really dense. And, as I did that, everyone going, right, good, carry on. And I said, no, that was it. I'm feeling fine. All of a sudden, I had this kind of wave of kind of clarity kind of come just into my brain, and I was absolutely fine. And I kind of get up, I kind of brush myself off, and everyone's saying, are you all right? And I said, I'm absolutely fine. I was completely lucid, and I was almost kind of euphorically kind of. It was almost like I was on a high. It was just, I was fine. Kate said, "What happened there?" I said, "I don't know, but I'm feeling absolutely fine." I said, "Could I have a bottle of water?" Because I just vomited,
Yeah.
And they brought me out a few bottles of water and stuff, and I got some kind of kitchen towel and stuff, and I kind of wrapped my sick up and kind of threw it in a bin, kind of around the thing. And it was just kind of, at that point, there was shame. There was just kind of all the time, of all the times that this could kind of happen, that I black out, that I throw up. Why is it there? And people are saying, what happened? Are you drunk? I said, no, I really am not drunk, And they said, what have you eaten? I said, I had oysters for tea. And they said, that's it, oysters. That's the worst thing, you can have. And, looking back, how stupid is it to eat quite a dangerous shellfish food, before, something
An
like that.
important thing, yeah.
So anyway, I have a bit of a sit down. They got these kind of directors' chairs out, and I'm sitting down one of these, and I have 2 or 3 bottles of water, and I don't feel like drinking, obviously, but I'm just hydrating myself. And Kate, as soon as she realizes I'm fine, kind of goes off talking. She's had a really good night,
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm just a bit of time to myself, just drinking, and I thought, I'm fine. And Jez, who I was talking to, is standing up on his own kind of thing. And I said, I'm absolutely mortified. I'm so sorry. He said, oh, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. I said, yeah, but, I said, first impressions and everything, it's not great, is it? So anyway, we were talking about Gretch. And we got back to this, we got back into talking kind of thing. And, having a good kind of to and fro, good kind of, 10, 15 minutes of chat and quality chat.
Quality chat.
And anyway, he's talking to me again, and I'm looking at him, and I'm starting to feel that swirling feeling again in my head.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious me, goodness gracious, why is this happening again? And he looks at me and he said, "You got a bit of a thing in your eye again." And I said, yeah, I'm not feeling too good. And I look over, and Kate and Pete are sitting down in these directors' chairs, and they said, you look white as a sheet. I said, yeah, I think I'm probably going to be ill again. And Kate said, do you want to go home? I said, I don't want to go home, but better ad kind of thing. So anyway, Pete said, well, the buses are going in the next quarter of an hour anyway, because we'd been there for a good, 2-3 hours or so. It was around about 1:30 in the morning. And he said, we're going to be going the next kind of 20 minutes, half hour anyway, so, you may as well go.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So anyway, people didn't want to shake hands. It was more of a kind of fist bump. They didn't want to get too kind of close to me, which is absolutely fine. But as I said to Arthur, Pete came out, and we called an Uber on the phone kind of thing. We went to the outside of this compound, and just as the Uber was turning up, it kind of pulled up, I went, oh, I turned around and I projectile vomited. I don't know if you've seen Team America, but it was like that for literally a minute. It was just...
Well, you had all our water. It was all our water as well.
All the water, but everything. And, they took in turns to kind of pat my back. They couldn't bear to look at me. I was just disgusted. I was repellent to them, And to fair play on the guy, the taxi driver, he said, first of all, I can't let you in the taxi like that. And they said, it's food poisoning. It's not, he's not pissed.
Not drunk.
He'll be, give us just 30 seconds. Anyway, I did what, I threw up, and they said, where are we staying? And it was only 6-7 minutes away. And I felt fine again. I said, I'm going to be fine, but, if you could put your foot in it, I promise you I'll tell you when I'm kind of gone. When I'm gone again and I need to get out. And fair play, and the guy, he took us back. And as luck would have it, and this is luck, when I got back to the hotel room, I was ill again, but it was the other way. And the thing is, the positive, because 2020 is all about positive, the positive that I'm taking from that experience is that it didn't happen the other way around.
Exactly.
Whereby I was walking out of that compound like Bruce Wayne kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not Bruce Wayne. Is it Bruce? Bruce Wayne is Batman, isn't he? So, the other one, John Wayne. You were going to let me say Bruce Wayne.
John Bruce.
Yeah, John Bruce. No, John Wayne kind of walking out like a cowboy, because that's what would have happened if it happened the other way around.
Of course it would have. Yeah.
So my great adventure to see Queen.
And you never got in an Uber with shit pants.
I didn't get in an Uber with, we're going to have to bleep that word out.
Poopy pants.
Yeah. So my highlight and low light of the year did come
Together.
on the same night. Literally on the same night. And so
the tip is, don't have
shellfish when you're doing anything important or just nice.
Or if the month doesn't have an R in it.
Yeah, so that was the thing. If the month doesn't have an R in it, don't eat shellfish. So May, June, July, August. The temperature obviously drops between September and April. So nobody told me that.
No.
It would have been fantastic information prior to the event.
But you can imagine how many tourists get ill. Gotta be.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going there, everyone's going to the same
But
places,
it could have
everyone's
happened
trying
at a
oysters.
different, it could have happened the next day, and it would have been awful whatever day, but it wouldn't have happened in front of
The Queen
people
Road queue.
who I kind of feel weak at the knees at anyway. Yeah. So my favourite guitar of the year, I'd say would be, I think it's probably one of the Gretsch Pro Series single cuts that we had through.
Yeah.
That one, Elwyn had one, we got the green one year.
Very nice.
That's my favourite, I think. Just a real kind of... If I was gigging, it would be something I'd go for. It'd be my Les Paul kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That is a really nice guitar.
The, amp-wise, just trying to think, what have we had through amp-wise that is special? I guess...
I was really impressed with the silver lines.
Yeah,
The Black Star silver lines.
yeah.
Don't know. I really like a Vox. The S1. I know the S1's been out a little while now, but just does everything.
Does
you want
everything,
to.
doesn't it? In the last few days, I've managed to set up a couple of amps at home, and it's AC30, and whether you're using whichever channel you're using, I can just get whatever it does everything I need
Yeah.
it to.
Yeah.
It's to the point where I struggle going into anything else. So trying to give a demo on something else here.
Yeah, I find that
'Cause-
Fenders are too kind of too transparent.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, there's a mistake. Oh, there's a mistake. Oh, there's a mistake.
it's you control an amp as well when you play.
Yeah.
You know what the kind of response and the lag and all that kind of thing is
Yeah.
with an amplifier, and you know if you push it what you're going to get. And I'm so at home with an AC30 that going to anything else now is quite difficult.
Yeah. Speaking of Vox, they announced, I think yesterday or today.
Cambridge.
Yes, you got the Cambridge 50, but they're doing the Super Beetle, but with Bluetooth, home Bluetooth speaker in as well. So it's a full Super Beetle that you can plug in, AC,
Right.
MV50
Yeah.
AC, but has also got a Bluetooth speaker.
What,
and-
within cab?
it. And it's
Or
got
within-
the speaker isn't just a guitar cab speaker, it's got a tweeter and a subwoofer in it, and you can control all
wow.
that. Yeah. Yeah, they announced them, I think, today, which is Thursday.
It gets
And
a
they
little
do
bit silly this time of year, doesn't it? Because they NAMM is meant to be the launch of all these.
Oh, and everything
things.
gets released and released and released.
But
by the
everyone,
time you get to
nobody
now.
wants to miss it. It's why Fender, quite intelligently, I think, for the last 2 or 3 Novembers at least, have released their flagship new product a major new product
prior.
prior. So we've just had the Ultra. Last year it was the Performer. The year before that it was the
Originals?
not
Was it
the
originals?
originals or the Professional. No, the originals. I think. Oh, I don't know.
There's been a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There's been a lot.
I'm detecting a 3-year cycle with Fender at the moment. 3 years. So the Elite was around for 3 years before the Ultra got announced, or 3.5 years.
Well, so do you think the Professional's going to...
My guess, my kind of prediction for this year is around about September, October. We're going to be kind of giving the heads up. Don't buy any more Professionals. There's going to be something coming to replace it. Which 3 years is a good lifespan
It
of
is.
something, because it's not. Look, take the Elite for example. The Elite still has relevancy. There's nothing outdated with that. The Ultra, I think, is a different guitar. I don't think
It is.
it should supersede the Elite. I think that it's
No.
I think that it's something that could quite happily exist next to it. But
Yeah. It just seems odd that they'd keep replacing the standard, like the...
well, Gibson did it every single year.
Yeah, but you still kept like the you kept the Les Paul standard, didn't you? Do you know what I mean? You kept the standard range, and it just seems...
I always said from the beginning, when they discontinued the standard, it was so that they could bring back the return of the legend.
Yeah.
The original, the thing that started it all, the Fender American standard, made in the USA. It sets it up for a good comeback, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think? Yeah.
Do you think that's what it'll be? Do you
Yeah.
think it'll be...
So when would they do that?
I promise podcast listeners that if you don't hear anything, we won't sell you an American Professional if we know that something else is coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We won't do that, and we don't do that
No.
to people when we know that there's something going on. We don't disobey Fender. We don't tell them everything that's going on, but we say, listen, hold on to your horses.
Yeah.
You might be surprised. You might still like this. Like I say, these guitars don't stop becoming good guitars. Stop
No.
being good
Yeah, no,
guitars
no.
just because something else is out. It's just something that they're just being replaced. So, we had a number of people when they, in that kind of interim period between the standard and the Professional,
Yeah.
that went for a standard. They knew that it was an outgoing model, but it's what they wanted. Whether it was the finish, whether it was the playability, whatever. Likewise, you had people who chose the Professional because it was, it was an evolved kind of standard. So, yeah, but like I say, if we know something is coming up, we won't. We won't sell you something just because we want to rid it of stock. We'd rather you.
The interesting thing at the moment is every line that's come out that's continued from a different line. So the American Performers after the Specials, Professionals after Standards, and then
Venturas from the
Interiors from the
Classic.
Mexican Deluxes, wasn't it?
No, Classic Players.
Classic
and the
Players,
Classic.
that's right, yeah.
Classic
everything
series.
has been an improvement. Even the Mexican standards to the Mexican players, everything's been an improvement. So you can just imagine
Here we go.
whatever is coming next.
See, here's the next one. So the last time we had a new deluxe in the range was summer. So the Mexican deluxe
Yeah.
was updated in Summer NAM 2016.
Okay.
That's the next one. That's what I say will be the next one.
So we're still getting. You can still get the Mexican deluxe.
Yeah,
So what would that? That'd be like the
it's kind of the
FSR, kind of the Fiesta Reds and all that sort of stuff, is it?
it would be Roadhouse kind of guitars.
Yeah.
the Nashville tellies and things like that kind of thing.
That'll be the next one.
I tell you what, Fender have done well this year. Pedals.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And we've been given a heads up with regards to some of Phase 5 on this new sheet. There's only one pedal I've seen there, but they've got a couple of... I think they've got a couple of kind of budgety kind of other things as well that will,
Okay.
that will tick a box for a
Yeah.
few people as well. So
Speaking of pedals, we might see it in NAMM, but whatever happened to Marshall's pedals? Because Marshall, a quick backstory, Marshall were discontinuing. They were taking out that old
Jackhammers
grey
and
style, the Jackhammer, the Governor,
Governors,
and they were
Bluesbreakers.
completely rebranding them and a new line. We got to see some designs. We were kind of on a
consultancy almost kind of
panel of
what do we
people.
think of this? Are we even allowed to talk about it?
well, we can be vague.
We can be as vague as possible, you know.
So they were interesting designs.
Our
I don't think they were bad designs, but they weren't Marshall.
Oh, they were Marshall. No, they
No,
didn't go in line with
and
anything
really
else
out
Marshall
there.
did.
and I think that was the general consensus from the small group of people that had a little bit of input into it, and so
Yeah.
it's a shame because you know the pedal range that they had, you know, the price of them were phenomenal.
49 quid for
For
like a Blues
good
Breaker 2.
sounding pedals.
Yeah. Do we know if they're doing anything? You know, have we had any indication?
I was
haven't
told
seen anything.
Andy seemed to insinuate, no, there's nothing new coming in NAM.
Right.
You know, I don't know. We're seeing him on Tuesday,
Oh,
so
there you
you know we might get a little bit of a heads up of something, but you know he usually knows by now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because the Origins, would they have been like... Oh, Studio Series was the last thing, wasn't
Studio
it?
Series
That was
the last thing. But yeah, the Origin's 2 years ago now.
Yeah. Well, the Studio Series, we got a heads up a long time ago, didn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
And that was cool.
They do
They
take
did
a
well.
while to kind of develop and bring something to market, I think, and it's
Yeah.
it seems to be a not being down on it at all because you know Marshall is a favourite brand, as is Vox. So you know to say anything negative is always through kind of gritted teeth, but you know the British just don't seem to have the marketing kind of brain that that the Americans have got. You know, with
Yeah.
Vox, Vox and Marshall have got they've got the strongest heritage with regards to amplifiers
Yep.
in the world, and that's the US and UK. You know, and the rest of the world. You know, the Beatles are massive all around the world. So Vox and U2 and Queen and everything. You know, so Vox have got so much to draw on there, which you know they appear in the marketing. You know, in the pamphlets and everything, but there's not enough made of that. You know, in the meantime, you know, U2 use AC30s, but they managed to get an Edge.
Yeah, it was
twin,
an Edge
was
twin,
it?
wasn't it?
Yeah, which I don't think went down particularly well with consumers, but because do people think of the Edge using a Fender twin? Maybe they do. Maybe fans do.
I
know that.
never.
For me, it's always been the AC30 in the background.
Yeah.
You know, Marshall have got, you know, arguably the greatest artist roster. Apart, you know, in the amplifier world, certainly, but something to compete with Fenders, you know, with Hendrix, you know, and Clapton, and you know, Slash, and you know, not just guys from the past, but relevant people now. You know, Slash is still the current guitar hero for probably over 50% of our customers.
Yeah.
You know, why aren't they doing more with that? Sometimes, you know, like you sense some frustration from the people that we see, kind of thing, and it's just you want to shake them sometimes and just kind of do something about it. Fender do it incredibly well. I'm looking at some of the artist signature guitars that we're not allowed to talk about until next week or whatever. There's some real cracking things on there that I think are going to just go down so well. They know how to exploit it, and when you say exploiting it, they're just giving the public what they want, and it just seems that it could be doing so much better.
It's almost the British modesty is almost
but I think with Vox, they got to run everything by Japan, and they're not always they don't always get things to say. It's Japan's idea to put Union Jacks on the front of limited runs. They don't understand how the British they don't understand the British people because they're not British. With all due respect, it's but it is what it is. Yeah.
That's a nice.
So that was the year in review. So I've made my prediction for 2020 with regards to, I think that we're going to get, and this was with no inside information whatsoever, I reckon we'll get a new professional stroke standard, something to replace the professional, whether it's the professional 2020 or whatever.
Yeah.
Good.
What's your prediction? It hasn't going to be product-wise, it can just be something to do with the industry.
I tell you what I'd like to see is I would like to see more, going off the subject we just were talking about, I would like to see Vox do more of artist gear. Like, I'm not a massive artist, like signature model-y type thing, but, to have, doesn't even have to be an AC30, but to have an AC30 that you can switch into,
A mode.
a treble booster mode.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that simple. You take, how hard would it be for Pete to consult on that and, for it to be
it's been done in the past, and they all sold. So
So what did they do? Like, it was like a limited run of.
they did, and they weren't very. Well, I don't think they were very good. They when Vox started getting amps produced out in the Far East. So Vox's amps were made in the Marshall factory during the 90s up until 2003.
Right.
And then they moved production to the Far East.
Yeah.
And it was they're called the CC Custom Classics. So it was the
Right.
now it's just the Custom, I think. It used to be the Custom Classics. So you had the AC30 CC 2, which was the greenback, and the CC2X, which was the blueback.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the same code still.
no, I think it's just C. It's AC30C2X.
Oh, C2X, is it?
Yeah,
Right, okay.
It's not CC. So the first batch from which, I think they run for until around about 2010, 2011 or so. You had a lot of. They just didn't sound as good. You had a lot of ghosting notes and stuff like that, with the speakers, because they started using Chinese-made Celestines as well.
Right.
So it was just quite a few. They didn't sound great as AC30s.
Yeah.
They sound a bit brittle, a bit too bright. And the Brian May signature model came around by that time, and people criticised it because at the time you could buy an AC30 with blueback speakers for, I think it was around about 800-900 quid or so.
Okay.
The Brian May one cost 1,600 quid, and you only had one channel. You had one input, one knob,
Yeah.
and you had like a little switch in it to activate a treble boost or not.
Ah, okay.
The treble boost wasn't a great sounding treble boost. It was designed by Greg Fryer, and I think Greg made some great boosters, but I think his interpretation of I think how they interpreted his design and incorporated it within the guitar, within the amplifier,
Wasn't right.
Just wasn't great. They all sold, and they do fetch good kind of prices now, but I know a lot of people in the Brian May community that bought these and got them modified by the guy who designed them in the first place, a guy called Dave Peterson, who he lives out in the Far East now, but he he would actually take these things apart, and obviously because they were Chinese made, there's PCBs inside, and he'd say he basically got rid of all that, and he would hand wire an amp as it was meant to be in there, and made them a lot better.
Yeah.
But there are amps out there that had that modification done to it, and then they changed the blue Chinese ones to British blue ones. So it was
You
a
may as
carcass.
well. Yeah.
You may as well
Yeah.
just bought a
blue.
or just a cabinet, and
of
and
course,
get
and just
somebody else to
built
make it.
from
So
scratch,
yeah. But so that's the thing. When you do things like that, you got to make sure you hit on, that you absolutely get it right, because the people that these things are aimed at are discerning. Like I say, the Edge amplifier and guitar didn't really go down. I don't think they sold massive amounts of the Fender ones, and I think it's because the Edge, in the same vein as the Brian crowd, the people who are going to go for that sound is going to know the gear back to front, know how it works.
My gut thing with the Edge was an Explorer into an AC30C.
Yeah.
That was when I think of the Edge, that's what I think of. And 2 wardrobes full of delays.
He did. The Black Strat was something he used through. He used it on Live Aid and a lot of the early stuff, and but you're right.
Yeah.
What are your predictions, Tom? Any openings, closures of?
Closures?
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
The continued evolution of the mini amp micro valve will be interesting.
MV50's been out for about 3 years now, hasn't it? So you'd think that we're maybe getting close to a Mark II of that.
Yeah. An effects loop, please, Fox.
That's what everybody says, and
it wouldn't, with that housing, it's just not possible.
No, but if you can, to make the housing a bit bigger, it's still light.
Tiny. Yeah.
It's still really light. You could make it. You could double the size of that and still get 4 of them in your backpack quite easily. It's yeah. I'm surprised that we haven't seen anybody else. Korg came up with the idea first off, and Blug, I believe, kind of.
Yeah, had a very, very similar.
But I think the technology was developed by somebody in Japan, and Korg have kind of latched onto them to kind of develop it with them. But I know that Blue kind of jumped the queue and kind of brought something out after Korg had been kind of involved in it and incorporated it in his Amp One.
That's right. Yeah.
So, as you say, given that it is that the valve stuff is seen as archaic and dying, because we're just not being able to get hold of the stuff anymore, the valves and everything else. Fender have brought out that twin, haven't they? The deluxe.
Yeah, the new ones. Yeah, they're all modeling. I mean, with high end modeling.
So what? They're more computer. The digital.
I think there's like 4 processors in it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's a different thing.
Maybe that's what it is. That they think they can do it without. They
can do it without the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the future. They may think
Yeah.
that's the future.
Yeah. Marshall haven't jumped on it. I guess Hughes and Kent have got the Black Spirit. What does that use?
Well, they say that it's a solid state, don't they?
Okay. So it's a solid
whatever,
state, so it's not,
whatever
right.
it is, this power in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shrouded in mystery.
Has anyone put an amp in a guitar?
Probably.
Yeah. You had the pig nose thing, didn't
my
you?
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
There's there are quite a few examples of it, and it never worked. In as much as you can't get any kind of projection. It's always going to be a small speaker, and it's always going to be boxy. It's going to be like the old smoky cigarette box amplifiers, or the Marshall Mini kind of things. It's always going to be a box of bees as opposed to anything anything with a good range on it.
The only thing that I suppose could be done, and probably has been done already, is having the amplifier sound, in quotation marks, in your line out. So where you plug in, that's got a cab IR. It's got an amp and cab.
Yeah,
somewhere there. You're kind of touching on that line 6 kind of job.
Yeah, and I don't think it would ever be taken seriously by
Vox do the
Starstream.
which I think does a similar thing. Not amp modeling so much, but
Yeah.
guitars and
Yeah,
banjos and everything.
What is like, and the Variacs, did something similar.
Yeah.
But they might be used as a studio tool for somebody who really, doesn't care what they're fine to get a general kind of sound. They're not that discerning about it.
No.
But I think that they'll always want.
Yeah, and I think that the problem with having a guitar with something like that in is you can only have if it's saying, "Oh, I'm using it for live," you can only use that guitar then. It's that guitar or nothing. Whereas people like having a Strat for this and a Les Paul for that, and a SG for this, and da da da. We like to have those options, and because each guitar makes us play different and different characters, and
Yeah.
so it's hard. When you got a Swiss Army knife, as as great as it is, it doesn't. They never really have character, do they? I never find they do anyway.
No. Talking about that type of amp, I know we got to wrap things up soon, but talking about that kind of amp, I tell you what, I've spoken to quite a few customers over this week, and the Katana 2's not the notion of the Katana 2 by Boss has not gone down very well at all.
I've heard that they've stopped the updates and they've
Of the
stopped,
Katana 1.
Yeah, of the Katana ones. Yeah.
So all of us, so basically they're doing the classic kind of Apple won't release updates for the iPhone 5 and below kind of thing. It's making gear obsolete, which there's a couple of the Katana 2 has to it has to have features that the Katana 1 hasn't got. Otherwise, what's the point in it?
Yeah.
So it's a better amp. It's got more features. I don't know much about it because we're not Boss dealers at the moment. But it took everyone by surprise. People didn't realize the Katana 2 was coming out, did they?
No.
It just it was launched. So the weekend before, you'd have had dealers up and down the country selling a Katana 1. Going back to what I said earlier about the Fender Stratocaster thing, whereby if we know something is coming, we'll tell you. We won't be specific with regards to what's coming and details, but we'll say, if you're looking for something like this, you might want to hold on just to look at your options, because we can't look somebody in the eye and sell them something that we know on Monday is going to be superseded by something better.
Yeah.
So, but shops up and down the land would have been selling an amplifier, a Katana, because they're such good sellers. They'd been selling to people in good faith, and then next week they'd have been told that the Katana 2 is the new model that's available. No further updates for the Katana 1.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well, the Katana was the second most popular selling amp last year.
Was it?
Behind the Blues Junior.
Blues Junior?
It was the Blues Junior, yeah.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
Blues Junior was top, and Katana was second. And the Yamaha THR, the little lunchbox style one, that was third. Third most selling.
That's phenomenal that a Valve amp is the top selling amp.
I think it goes to show what we as a sort of community want, which is tradition, I suppose. The legacy stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, Katana was second.
Excuse me a second.
Pedal wise, the top. Now this is a weird one. The top selling pedals this year, or 2019, were exactly the same as the top selling pedals for 2018, which was the Hall of Fame Reverb by TC, number 1, the Hall of Fame Ditto TC.
Good grief.
Hall of Fame TC Ditto, number 2.
Do you know what that goes to show? Is that Amazon is selling so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really is.
Yeah.
There's, I'm not aware of a TC dealer in South Wales.
No, I don't think so. I don't know if the Mega Store does it. But
Nobody's coming in talking about them.
No,
And
they
that's,
don't.
that's
they
the
don't
weird thing.
put
Generally
a
you've
lot
got
out at the moment.
you've got a good idea with regards to what's hot and what's not. Just down to inquiries. Can you get this? We have been asked for the Katana 2, and Christmas, it did hurt to turn people away, saying, "Listen, we don't do the Katana." We offered them alternatives. A lot of the time, the alternative was over and beyond what they thought it was going to be, and they walked away happy.
Yeah.
loopers, RC3s, we missed having those, but we had some alternatives and people were happy with those. Other people said, no, I know what I want. And you got to say, do you know what, fair play. If you know what you want, get it.
Yeah.
But you've got a good idea with regards to what people are seeking out. And I've not been asked for a TC pedal for a long time. Which, like I say, it's just they're at the right price and they're on Amazon. And that's that.
Yeah. We get asked more for Boss compact pedals than we do for TC. And we don't get asked for Boss compacts a lot.
No. Not
Really?
anymore. No. So, some interesting predictions. Right. If any one of us is correct for this year, they get a night out on not on the company, on the dollar of the other two.
I should have used some inside information I knew.
One more thing we want to discuss before we move on to the final kind of couple of bits, which is an anomaly. An anomaly.
Yeah, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
Twice in a row.
An anomaly.
3. Oh,
got better every time as well.
So there'll be a video coming up. We filmed it today. We'll be up on our YouTube probably tomorrow, won't it? It's not going to take
hopefully
too long.
Shouldn't take you too long, Tom.
Shouldn't take too long. It's more. No, we're nearly already there with it. So end of 2019, Fender released a limited edition American Performer Telecaster. It was butterscotch blonde with a maple neck maple board. We saw the specs and we were like, yep, it's looks like a 52 telly. It's got all the modern appointments, and it's a modern shaped neck, which was the more important thing. And we were able to say, yep, we'll take a dozen. We said. They said you can't. You can have one. We said, okay, we'll have one. And so we had it through and unboxed it and thought, okay, this is something's weird, something's odd here. And
to be fair, you picked up on it straight away. Like
it just looked strange. It just looked odd, and I was just like, "That's supposed to be." And I went and checked the email first. And I was just like, "Yeah, no, it's supposed to be a maple board." What they'd sent through is the limited edition Performer butterscotch blonde maple neck rosewood board.
We checked the serial number.
Serial number matches as a maple board.
So our worry then was that right, okay, you sell this and you sell it to somebody, as a listen. This is a one-off, brilliant. But if they ever want to sell it on, obviously one of the things that's going to hold its price because of its uniqueness is the fact that it's a rosewood board, not a maple board.
Yeah.
But if it goes into a Fender deal, or if anyone is able to do any kind of check online, they're going to see that it is registered as a maple board, so it might be considered as a forgery. It'd raise alarm bells straight away, wouldn't it? So the first thing we did was take a bunch of photos and get in touch with Fender and say, look, this is what's turned up. What do you have any idea what's gone on? Have you had any other ones come back or get in contact? We've had an email, and we've actually got the email printed out next to the guitar on the wall next door, just to say it's a complete one-off. It's a mistake.
It's a
serial Fender anomaly.
Yeah, it's a Fender anomaly. The serial number matches, and they've confirmed that serial number is for that guitar. Yeah. It should have been a maple board, maple neck maple board, but just isn't. They've put a rosewood board on. It's an American Performer neck. It's exactly the same as what you'd get, but with a rosewood board. Same tuners, same everything, and the guitar is perfect. Setup wise, it was done perfectly. It wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't like a Friday afternoon job where they'd just gone, yeah, this, and didn't check it. It was.
How does that happen though in the factory?
The bizarre thing is, how does it happen to a limited line?
And to a neck with the serial number printed on it.
Yeah, so you'd assume then that the
You'd assume the neck would be
would have a serial number printed already, which means that must be printed last then, or late.
A maple neck, am I right in saying that a maple neck is solid, or do you get a maple cap where the fretboard is?
I'm not too sure with that.
But, it is.
We should know.
I just imagine in the factory a row of guitars and then one's different. And
yeah.
So I'd imagine it.
You see these pictures of guitars that are ready to go to the next stage and of finishing, and you've got 24 in a row. You know, it looks amazing, but you've got all those in a row, and it's like spotting Homer Simpson with a pink shirt going through the. Have you seen that episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah.
He's got. You know, you'd see it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
one, and I can't remember how many pieces they've done for this limited run, but it's the American factory as well.
It's the American factory. There was a QC card.
Yeah,
But this is why, you know, that's the thing you see is that buying it from us, we're going to know that and we're going to shout about it and we're going to let this person know who eventually buys it exactly what they're getting and why it's special.
Yeah.
But if this had come from a shop where, you know, basically the barcode says what it is and it's going to be scanned, put onto a UPS van and sent to the customer, you know, the customer's going to say, what the hell is this? You know, this is a mistake. And it's going to go back to whoever as an incorrect purchase. And but instead, you know, we're aware of what we got, and we're going to be able to pass it on to a
and as it stands,
customer who wants it.
Fender of at least as right now have confirmed that it's the only one. It may be that there are some in boxes sitting on shelves that have rosewood necks, and there may be a couple of them somewhere.
But those people are going to be buying something that they're not, something that they haven't.
People are looking for a maple neck, whereas ours is advertised on our website now as this one-off with the rosewood board, and it's brilliant. It's a performer. It's an American performer,
and it's that guitar. You know, you expect that guitar to have a maple neck as well. It's not like
the butterscotch.
No, exactly. It's the classic 52, isn't it? It's,
because it's got the single play black pick guard as well. So it's brilliant though. Really, really good.
Yeah,
but it's funny how we get these little things happen. Like the Meteora thing, like this, just these odd like anomalies that are.
I wonder if it's where we are on the list kind of thing. Because Ray Strings, when they're allocating things, you know, when they allocate stock, they allocate serial numbers. So it's not just right. There's there's 50 American performer Telecasters. You know, just make sure 2 of them go to so and so and so. 1 of them goes to A Strings. 5 of them goes to whoever. You know, as they come in. Serial number XXX123 will go to A Strings. XXX124 will go to Anderton's next in the alphabet, whatever. And so, you know, the guitars that are allocated to us are actually
usually early.
You know,
of the run.
I imagine they would be.
Yeah, it should be.
You know,
very interesting. But it's here in the shop if you'd like to come and see it. It'll be on our YouTube channel probably before this podcast is. So,
get it before Adam buys it.
No, I'll be generous. I guess speaking of YouTube channel,
So we said we'd keep in touch with you or we'd keep informed with regards to the success of the YouTube channel with regards to the monetization thing.
Oh yeah,
we started the YouTube channel. Oh, we started monetizing the YouTube channel back in April, at which point we had 3,002 subscribers.
All right.
And
so is that probably why we decided? Was it like going out into 3,000? We were like, oh, do you know what?
Well, everyone else is doing it, you know. So why shouldn't we?
Well, yeah.
See what we can get from it. So today, which is the 9th of January, we got 4,796. So just under 4,800. So just in within 8 months of a year,
we've done nearly 2,000. People.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. It's really good, and it's exponential usually with YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah. So the more you get, the faster they come on. We had phenomenal kind of response to out of nowhere. The Gibson 10 times the tone thing. What happened there? Like
we've tried to look at all the analytics. We've tried to sort of backtrack where it's been shared.
It just got.
I think it just ended up on
crazily
like
kind
YouTube
of busy and
page.
So anyway, we didn't realise, but the way that the monetization thing works is that once it hits £60, it will automatically just transfer to your bank account. We hadn't set up a bank account with it, so last week we had to request a code which they sent through in the post. Then we had to set up a bank account, and then they send you a couple of pennies and you got to so they can
verify
verify the account and all that. So anyway, we've done that, and they sent us through £1,007 yesterday, which has now gone into your just basically marketing fund.
When he says "your,"
Well-
not you listening.
No, yeah, there's eye contact going on. Yeah.
So we
So
are.
that's basically it's it's not cost anybody anything, in as much as it was videos we were doing anyway. It means that the same as every other YouTube channel, there's a advert you can skip at the beginning, and we've
Well, a lot of videos have got adverts all the way through now. It's so irritating.
we won't do that,
No.
because we don't want to interrupt the
No,
the experience. So,
people want to get me over and done with as quick as possible.
yeah, so
It's
So
all to, it's
basi-
all to go to make improvements.
absolutely. So the money's gone into your a little account of kind of set up for your marketing kind of thing. So we've been talking about ideas of where to spend the money. It's not go. You aren't going to spend it all at once, boys. You just take a deep breath and think. Try and grow up. Basically, I'm trying to tell you. No, but
A confetti cannon for every video is expensive. Because it's different confetti every time.
number 7 makeup. I thought you'd be asking for.
Oh, that's, yeah. I got my Boots card for that. That's fine.
Yeah, all right, good. The Tom, has always got ideas with regards to what to get to add different production values to the guitars, and one of the things you've kind of improvised with is like skateboards and that kind of thing for smooth shots and everything. So I think you want something to kind of
Yeah, a little slider.
yeah.
Not too expensive.
At the moment, he is like the MacGyver of the YouTube videos. Like. So we use like the what was it, one of the Fender promo billboards, which is really smooth.
Yeah.
It's like dragging with a tea towel across that. But it gets the shot. It does get the shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a little slider.
Yeah, slider would be good.
Yeah, we're hoping for some more being able to expand the setup. So we're going to go for, when we do comparisons, we can have now we've got our new switcher.
Yeah. Oh,
We can do 3 amp comparisons, 4 amp comparisons, and having them all mic'd up. It's just having the things there to be able to say we can do this now. Same with interviews, having more than one lapel system.
yeah.
Just having the flexibility and having the equipment here.
Yeah. So it's quite a long episode this, but it's actually been quite a bit that's happened, and as we're going on, it's kind of coming back to us. Greg Coxill is a guy who I have known since right at the beginning of A-Strings. So when I first started, he got in touch with me. We were both fanboys on the Brian May guitar forum, and I obviously got in touch with. I joined these forums to say that I started importing these strings. Were you interested in buying them? And I had people come to me for that. And around about the same time, he contacted me. He's an electronics kind of engineer, and he was thinking of going into business, designing effects and routing systems and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we started at the same time, January the 1st, 2006, and so he was doing it he lasted for about 3 or 4 years. I think he stopped around about 2010, 2011. And people still kind of ask for his gear and everything, but he's just stopped doing everything. And just before Christmas, I had a box come through saying, "Do not open before your birthday," kind of thing. I could see it was from him. And inside is this, it looks like it belongs on a 1960s Star Trek episode.
It does, yeah.
It's basically this kind of big box with 3 or 4 dials on it, switches and everything. And basically what he's made it for us to use in the shop, whereby we can link up 4 different amplifiers, 4 different effects, and 4 different guitars. So basically when we're doing comparisons between, so if we're reviewing the 2020, the 2021 American Standard Stratocaster against the professional. Okay, let's not be as controversial as that. See, we're, maybe you've done the Elite versus the Ultra in the past, or the Americans. What's the difference? You can plug all 4 guitars in, going into the same amplifier, and all you got to do is flick a switch on this thing, and you've got an absolute direct kind of comparison.
Yeah.
Quickly as well, and also the other way around. If you got four different amplifiers or however many, and you got one guitar, you can
It's
plug.
as simple as
You could have a tube screamer, an OCD, Fender driver or whatever going into an amp, and you can see the differences between all three by just kind of flicking through. It's going to be it's something that only we have got. You know, I mean, there might be other switches out there, but this thing is labelled up with a massive A-string sticker, kind of labelling going right the way across it, and it looks like one of those things that you wanted to kind of play about with when you're little.
Yeah. I think it's going to make filming a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, that time between each, and actually you're going to physically be able to see on the switcher where we are and what we're on.
Exactly. I mean, it actually makes a bit of an event of a video, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Having the, right, we're going to switch to this now.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
exactly.
Yeah. So,
and you're going to do a blog post on it. So.
Yeah, well, I did part one this evening. I'm going to take a couple of pictures. That's going to go up tomorrow morning. Then we'll do another one tomorrow or Friday, or Saturday, something like that.
Cool.
Get the other bit up on it. So that's that. Right, let's move on.
All right.
Social media comment of the week.
Social media comment of the week.
So obviously with the break, we've had a few social media comments that have been good, bad, and nothing.
Yeah.
So from the Black Star Silverline series video, Mike Dutill says, "Dude, could you have more ink?"
Oh, that's right. Let's start off the 20s with some Adam bashing.
Well, you know.
So I just mean to go on.
I know. Yes.
My prediction is August before he leaves. You have had some more. You've had some additions.
A couple of little bits. Yeah, I'm not
Since that video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing major, and there's no plans.
No.
There's a plan, but that's not going to be it for a long while yet. It doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah. So, it doesn't bother him. All right. So move on.
So can we move on, please?
Can't you see that it doesn't bother him?
Okay, on the comparison of the Strats video, Bad Brad
Oh, he sounds like a bad boy already.
Bad Brad commented, "It bothers me bad when I don't feel like you're being genuine and reading a prompter instead of giving your honest opinion."
What bothers me?
Don't feel bad, Brad. I don't read a prompter, and they never review, so we don't give opinions.
I tell you what bothers me is when you spell your Y-O-U-R and not Y-O-U''re.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
as if we could afford a prompter.
We're not bitter. Yeah, prompt. Yeah. He obviously doesn't know us. With a name like Brad, he's either like an Australian surfer or like American. You know, so
yeah. Do our videos really strike you as professional enough that we would sit there and write up a prompter script first? Does that sound? Does what I say sound like it's scripted? No, it sounds like gabble.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed. Have we got any more to do, or is that the end now?
Please, that be the end.
Is that it? I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. We've actually had quite a lot of people asking, "Where's the podcast? When's it coming back?" Well, eat your words, because this is probably a 2-hour plus episode with just rambling.
Enjoy that.
Not all of it great, but this is what you wanted, so eat it.
We'll see you next time for a jam-packed episode where we'll be able to talk about most of the announcements.
Yeah.
And see what's coming up from all the big boys at NAMM.
So from, what was his name? What was the name Chris gave you then the other day? Adam dropped a knife, and it went. Luckily, it was a very sharp knife, and it went handle first on his foot.
Landed on my foot, handle first. Luckily,
and he had his white daps on as well. So.
It was the worst. Yeah. There was no. The shoes that I had on, they were like running shoes. They had no protection.
Just the cloth.
Yeah.
And his name for you. I said jokingly. I said, if that had you, your nickname would have been Stabfoot, and Chris went, no, Gimpy Toe Knife Foot. So from Gimpy Toe Knife Foot, from Richard Bryers, sorry, Tom, over in the corner, and myself, Andrew Morgan,
And
Independent Retail of the Year 2015, Ron the Kiln Taff. We'd like to say
Also, graffiti artist of New Orleans.
the
oyster artist
the
of
Welsh
New Orleans.
puker. Yeah. Welcome to 2020. We hope that we're here in 2030 to carry on with the podcasts. And can you imagine how much of your life you'd have wasted by 2030?
2020. The only way is middling.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening. We'll speak to you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.